Hey guys, so in this video, we're going to be talking about how do you actually structure your retirement portfolio to make sure you can get the most out of it. So in the last video, I showed you guys how to do a quick 30-second financial plan and how to apply a timeline to your situation to help you gain some clarity so you know where your future income sources are. So another question that always follows that is, now what? What do I do with all the money I've saved over the last 20, 30, or 40 years? How do I turn that into an income stream? So how do you go about doing that? That's what we're going to talk about in today's video. So a couple of key things you need to understand first. Let me bring my screen up here. So one thing you want to keep in mind is that the market's always going to keep fluctuating. It's going to go up and it's going to go down. As it has been in your career, it's going to continue to do this in retirement as well. So while you're working, you're always contributing money into your accounts. And what you're doing is dollar cost averaging, right? Where every single month we're contributing, we're just buy. You buy the highs, you buy the lows, and over time you actually get a better share price by doing it this way. Now in retirement, it kind of works the opposite. Instead of buying, we're going to be selling, right? We're taking distributions out monthly. So we're going to sell. If the market's going up while we're selling, it's not a big deal. Hopefully we're not taking that much out that it can still grow. That's really what the goal is here. But you are going to have some downfalls in it. So it's really not a question of if the market's going to go down anytime soon, it's when it goes down. Because you all know it has to go down at some point. So when you get to the retirement distributions, the market's going down and you're selling, now you're actually losing money and you're going to see your account decrease much faster than you used to. And this is where emotions can come into play. People make emotional decisions, they go to cash, and this is how people end up running out of money in retirement, is they don't have a set plan in place. So one strategy you guys can use is putting money aside in something we like to call a war chest, which is largely made up of cash and fixed income. And typically in this war chest, you want to have anywhere from 3 to 5 years of income on hand. So remember not if, when the markets go down, you don't have to panic and sell your equities at all-time lows. You can instead pull the money from the cash or these fixed income sources because they're going to be a lot more stable, and you can kind of wait for the market to come back up. So if we look here, we say this was 2008. We know the market peaked around May of 28, and then we had a big downtrend. Now, most recessions in the US last about 3 years. 2008 was closer to about 5. So in 2008, the market peaked here, and it wasn't until about 2013 before the market was made whole again. So the entire time, if you're selling while the market's going down that quickly, that's when you start running out of trouble. But if you have money set up in cash, you can be selling money from your cash accounts, and you don't have to sell from the equity portion. And then once the market comes back up, we can actually sell off here and replenish our buckets. All right, so what are the buckets that we need to have in our account? Really, there's only 3 that you need to know about. So the first one is just cash. So it's really boring, right? It's just cash, some money market, something that's going to secure and that it's there. It's not going to earn a whole lot. And what we're going after here is liquidity. Because liquidity in retirement, especially when you need income, is very important. So in here, you want to have anywhere from 2 to 3 years of income. Right? So it's up to you to determine how much income you need. If you do that timeline example that we went over in the last video, that's going to give you a much clearer idea of how much income you need to have set aside in that for 2 to 3 years worth. So in the last example we looked at, you needed about $54,000 a year for 3 years. So in that case, that adds up to $162,000. You would be putting $162,000 into cash because we know that money needs to be liquid so we can live on it for the next 3 years. So the next bucket that we have in our portfolio is fixed income, which is largely made up of bonds. It can also be CDs. We just need things that will rise in value somewhat, but don't have too much risk, right? We're still staying away from equities in this bucket here. Fixed income. These accounts will kind of perform more like this. They'll still go up and down in value, but over time they go up just really gradually. For the cash bucket, it's pretty much flat, and that's how we like it. So the fixed income bucket is important because that's where we're going to keep another 2 years worth of income, just in case that those 3 years we have in cash isn't enough. We can pull some money off there. We don't have too much set aside in cash because inflation, but we do want to have some money working for us in a safe rate, just in case we run into that situation where a recession comes and does last more than 3 years, we have something to go into. So in our last example, the timeline said that the person wanted another 88,000 to go for 2 more years. So in that case, they would be putting about $88,000 into a fixed income bucket. The rest of the money past this point, all this money can now be invested in equities. We can afford to ride the market up and down because we know we have income set aside, classes for at least 5 years, which is going to get you through most market downturns. So the last bucket here is what we call growth. On this bucket here, it is in the market. There are no guarantees whatsoever. So you're going to see the same kind of crazy swings that you've seen throughout your career. It's going to go up, it's going to go down, but over time, the markets generally go up. This is what's going to continue to help you guys grow your portfolio over the long run. It's important to have a long-term mindset in retirement. Just as you did before retirement, you still need to have this throughout your retirement because your retirement can easily last 20, 30, even 40 years. So you want to make sure you're investing for the long run and not getting too emotional with this. Having this cash and fixed income bucket, this is what we call the war chest, set aside, can really help you guys maintain control and avoid to act emotionally when the markets swing. So we have money in the growth spot. When the markets go down to here and we need income, we're going to simply take it from cash or the fixed income side. And then when the markets are at all-time highs again, you suddenly take this and we can replenish your fixed income and your cash. So you can actually set this up right even before you retire inside your Plan 3 account. So cash, you just be using the cash account that they have available, which I think is called stable value. Then you have one pond fund in there, which you can use for fixed income. The equities can be a scramble of the remaining 6 options. Usually you want to stick to more of the large cap areas because they don't have as much swing as the small and mid cap areas do. Also important to keep an international in there. Same thing goes for DCP, exact same investments. Your 403Bs and your IRAs are going to have a much broader choice of options. So you're able to look and see what's available to kind of reconstruct this. Now, it's important to remember that your guys' retirement is like no one else out there. You guys have a pension, which 90% of Americans don't have. So when you're hearing things and reading things online, know that a lot of that advice information may not apply to you. And especially when you're seeking professional help, a lot of the professionals are generalists. They try to work with everybody. They don't specialize in Washington State employees like we do. So they may not know your situation that well, and they may not give you the best advice because it's not tailored to your situation because they don't know your benefits. So one of the most common benefits that people ask about is the Washington State TAP annuity. Now the state actually has a number of different annuities. The TAP is probably the more popular one. That's only available to people in Plan 3. But they also have the teacher retirement annuity and the public employee retirement annuity. Those are available to anyone. Plan 2, Plan 3, Plan 1, does not matter. Those are available to you. So a lot of people ask, should I buy the annuity? Where would it fall in this picture here? So those annuities from the state, what we call income annuities, right? You give them a lump sum of money, they're going to give you a guaranteed income for the rest of your life. Now, the con to that, any money you give them cannot be taken back, right? It's an irrevocable decision. You lose access and control of that money. So it's best to know pros and cons before doing that. That being said, though, the state is going to have the highest payouts because they're able to work on a negative budget. Any private annuity company is not going to have the same level of payouts out there. So as far as guaranteed income comes from, they're going to be one of the best options that you have. So where does it fall in this pot here? Your TAP annuity or any annuity you get from the state can easily fit right here in the middle into this fixed income bucket. So when you have money in that TAP annuity, oftentimes it allows us the freedom to put more into the equity bucket here. Now, why is that? Because TAP annuity generates a guaranteed income, it's either going to make up the entire amount of shortfall that you currently have, or it's going to cut into it deeply. So if we need less income from a retirement portfolio, we can reduce these numbers. We may not need $162,000 or $88,000 anymore. We can drop those numbers down and shift that money more into the growth sector. So if you guys want to go ahead and run with that concept and do it all yourselves, you can be my guest and you'll save both of us some time. If you're wanting some professional advice and someone that can actually guide you and walk you through this all, because you realize you only have one shot at retirement, you want to get it right, and it's really not worth the time, energy, or effort it's going to take for you to do all the research, see what applies to you, what doesn't apply to you, and try to figure out yourself. You understand the value of your time. Now, this is something you don't want to mess up. If you're in that bucket and you really get this thing going, you can book a meeting with us in the link below. My name is Ethan Miko. I specialize in working with state employees here in Washington. I'm the co-founder of Scenic Financial and host the Scenic Financial YouTube channel. It's all about Washington State retirees and their benefits. If you'd like to book a call, the link is down below, and I hope to speak with you soon.